word list, you've got the vocab words here. Now, you'll notice if you look at your paper word list, there's some words on here in bold. Those are the words that the iLearn people gave me as vocabulary words. Those are the ones that you have to know. They're going to ask you about them for sure. So when I went through the textbook, I saw that some of these terms were not in here for whatever reason. So that's also why I gave you guys the definitions, so that you guys would have the definitions they were using. They're pretty close to what's in the book, but they gave us that information, so I made sure to pass that on to you. So number 2, displacement is not in the textbook, but it is on the word list. If you want to add it here in your book so you have it, you can. But you also have access to the Google Doc that has the words on it. So, I mean, you shouldn't have a problem finding the words this time because you're not just keeping track of a piece of paper. Same deal with lesson 2, time and position were not in this textbook. So if you want to go ahead and jot those down so you have them all in one place, you can. But I am aware that those are not in the book, and that's why they've been added to the list. Any questions about that on page 3? All right, let's go ahead and look at page 4. So motion.
Wait, hold on, Miss Birch.
So
I don't have my textbook. I can't find it.
Okay. All right. Do you have some paper?
Yes, I have my paper. Yeah, yes.
Okay. So whatever I'm writing down in the book, write that down on your paper and put it in your book when you find it later. All right. So the goal of lesson 1 is to figure out when is an object in motion. In regular language, everyday language, people don't necessarily use the word motion a lot. You talk about if something is moving. It's the same question we're trying to answer. How do you know if something is moving, or when is an object in motion? You could think of this either way, okay? The My Planet Diary uses a space example. So part of the reason we cover these 2 books on physics before we get to the space unit is so that you can understand how things move and work in space. One of the early observations that people made is the difference between how our sky looks over a 24-hour period. Sometimes it's, light outside, and sometimes it's dark outside. They looked more closely and they saw, the sun appears to move across the sky. So they thought, wow, the sun's going around us and the moon's going around us. Got all these stars. Like, we must be the center of everything. Everything's going around us. So it says, for thousands of years, many people thought Earth was the center of the universe. Name one possible reason why they thought this. What did you guys come up with? Tristan.
We're in something called the Goldilocks zone, and it's not too hot or too cold. So, and everything else is a lot colder. As technology advanced back in the day, they used telescopes and better lenses to see what's going on. They thought we were the center of everything because it looked like everything was revolving around us.
Yeah, it looked like everything was revolving around us, right? What do we know is really happening? What's really moving? Jacob?
That we revolve around the sun while the moon revolves around us.
Right, yeah. Can you feel the Earth moving around the sun? No. Can you feel us spinning in place, causing night and day? No. So it's reasonable that they thought this. It looks like, they call that apparent motion. It looks like the sun and moon travel across the sky. That combined with we can't feel the earth move in space.
Tony has just got on, Miss Birch.
Thank you. Those two things kind of worked against us. We can't feel ourselves moving, and it looks like that's moving across the sky. Like it starts out in the east, and then by lunchtime it's in the middle, and by the end of the day it's on the other side of the sky. Like it's a reasonable expectation. Tony, you need to mute your mic, buddy. But Copernicus decided to use something else to see if we were moving. He compared the motion of the sun and the moon to the stars in the background. And he noticed that, well, I don't think that they're moving around us. I think we are moving in space ourselves. And you guys will learn more about that in social studies, his time period. It was a very dangerous thing for him to say at the time that we were not the center of the universe. So down at the bottom of page 4, an object is in motion if its position changes relative to another object. We've talked about this word relative before. What is a better synonym for that? What's a better word to use than relative? AJ? Ellie, what do you think?
Oh, I forgot the mic.
Okay.
What is the first? Repeat the sentence, please.
What is a better word to use than relative? What did we talk about?
No, like the sentence earlier.
Oh. An object is in motion if its position changes relative to another object.
Relative would be like so like I guess like an original, like if something's moving and moves from its original spot to something else.
Okay, yeah, that's one way we would know, but what does it mean changes relative to? Ellie, what were you going to say?
I was going to say like maybe to the same object or like something like it. Or like you like the same as something?
Kind of. What I would like for you guys to write in your book is relative means compared. So when they use the word relative, they don't mean like, your brother, your sister, your cousin. Like, yeah, those are relationships. But the way that we find those relationships is the same. We're going to compare two things to each other. Like if you compare Robin and I, she's my daughter. If you compare me to you, I am older. If you compare a car to a bike, the car would be faster. So you have to have something to compare the object that you're observing to figure out if it is moving or not. So when you read this sentence, I want you to think the word compared here. So an object is in motion if its position changes compared to another object. Okay. On the next page, it talks about what would be good and what would not be so good to use as the thing you are comparing your object to. So the fancy word for the object that you're using to compare your object to is called a reference point. It says to decide if you are moving, you use your chair, table, desk, the wall. Got to pick something as a reference point. A reference point is a place or object used for comparison to determine if something is in motion. So you guys should have that definition underlined. And then we have the key here, starred. An object is in motion if it changes position, remember relative means compared, to a reference point. So down at the bottom of the page, you guys were given this picture of this boy in the car. And it's kind of like one of those spot the difference activities. Have you guys seen those before, like online or in a book? So they change some stuff between the two images, okay? So if we observe here, it
I've
says
seen that.
the top photo was taken shortly before the bottom photo. So we have a boy sitting in a car, and we have a building and a flagpole. Yeah,
What page is it?
5.
Just 5?
This is page 5 you're looking at. And then there's a red car in the background. Huh?
In the new book or the old book?
The new book.
Okay.
Okay. What is the most obvious change between the top picture and the bottom picture? Emma? Huh? Oh, there you go.
So the angles from the school change. Like in the word, you can see more of it in the bottom picture.
All right, so let's ignore that part. Let's use this. What do you see as the most obvious difference in the pictures now? Tristan?
The car,
Which car?
the red car,
What did it do?
it goes forward.
Okay, so this isn't a video, so how do we figure out that this red car is moving?
The school is in.
Because the front is facing the back of the car that the man is inside of,
Mhm.
and shortly after the other person, there's a person inside the car, it
Mhm.
seems to be,
Okay,
in the red car, and they're probably in different intersections of the road. So one's facing the other way and one's facing the opposite.
okay, so you use the guy in the car, good. Braden, what did you use to be able to tell if the red car is moving? Griffin, what'd you use?
I used the flagpole.
You use the flagpole?
Mhm.
All right, so how'd you use the flagpole?
Well, when you look out the window, it looks like the car's like farther away. But when you look on the other side, it looks like it's getting closer to it.
Okay, yeah. So the red car would not be a good reference point because it can move. Is a flagpole gonna just up and move on you? No. Is a building gonna just start moving away from you? A tree? No? All right. So up at the top of the page, it says objects that are fixed to the earth, such as buildings, trees, signs. These things make good reference points. So if we look at the picture, you can see the flagpole is in the middle of this kid's window, right? And it's in line with the hood of the car in the first picture. The flagpole is still in the same place between the two pictures. Okay, so compared to this car, the background isn't doing anything. But now the flagpole is in line with the trunk of the car. And that's what these questions over here asked you about. It says, did the car that the boy is in move, or did the car in the background move? You would need to explain that the red car in the background moved. And we know this because compared to the flagpole or the trees or the building in the background, it's not in the same place. It's not, when you compare how its position is, it's not the same.
Famous Birch.
Yes.
How I figured it out was I just looked at him. He doesn't have his hands on the steering wheel.
Well, he's in the back seat, so.
Is he? I thought he's in the front seat.
No, he's in the back. He's in a van.
Plus, I knew because the building is in the same spot.
Right, and
So
building.
they could both just be like parked and that one's moving out.
Yes. So this is how you do relative positions to a reference point. You want to compare the thing you think might be moving to something you know isn't going to easily move. And if it doesn't stay in that exact position, then you know that it's moving.
Miss Birch?
Now, I could ask you guys, how do we know that this kid in the foreground isn't going anywhere? If you compare him to the flagpole or him to this tree, you can see these leaves. They're still relatively in the same position. Now, I realize in the background, the letters on the building are different. I think the person who took the picture might have shifted their position a little bit. But you'll be asked these kinds of questions. You know, look at this picture. What is in motion? So can you guys see me now? Yes? Can you guys see me now? Somebody nod or something so I know. Yes?
Yeah.
All right. There we go. Okay. So if you use my, window here that you can see me in, right? I'm on this side of your screen, and you can see most of my bulletin board, and you can't really see the chalkboard behind me because I'm standing right here. Would the wall be a good reference point?
Yeah.
Do walls just move on their own?
No.
No, right? So, this is going to be a good reference point. So if I'm standing right here, and then now you look at the picture and I'm over here, if you look at the, border of your screen, now I'm on this side of your computer, right? You can't see the things in the background as well because I'm in the way. And now where I was before, you're able to see it. So if you compare my location to the background, which is a good reference point, it's a wall, you can tell that I am moving, okay? It's not, Robin's not over here taking the camera and doing this, right? If I were standing still and she was moving the camera, I would always be blocking this part of my bulletin board, okay? So you can tell that I'm the one that is moving because according to the background here, that's a good reference point. My location changes. Okay, yes.
It could move, but it depends if there's an earthquake or not, or
Right.
if it's a cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
And then you can just move it.
But we're gonna assume there isn't any kind of trickery going on when we're doing these kinds of observations. That'll just make it a little bit easier. Okay.
Yeah,
Any
probably.
questions about page 5 or page 4? No? Okay. So turn with me to page 6. I would like for you guys, as part of your assignment today, to read, annotate, and do relative motion, keeping in mind that relative means compared, some kind of a comparison. That'll help make this make more sense. Okay. Please answer the compare and contrast. Please answer questions 1 and 2 in the apply it. Got to find your book, man. Or you're going to have to send somebody up here to pick up another one from the office. Okay. This picture of the people on the merry-go-round, similar to the picture on the previous page. How did we figure out if it was the boy or the red car moving? Here, you got to figure out what's going on with these people on the roller coaster ride. On page 7, measuring distance. So if we're going to be determining if something is in motion, we're going to want to know how far it went. How far did it get displaced from one to another? Okay. Knowing how far you went is also important to figure out how fast you're going. And people are always interested in the speed of things. So that's why we need to know about distance. Please answer this section here on distance. You're welcome to Google the conversions of meters to other things if you need to. And then down to the bottom, please circle 1A, B, and I get it. So I've got about 10 more minutes of stuff I need to explain to you guys, and then you'll have time to work on this. Okay? Any questions about the book assignment for today? Tessa?
Is that the only thing that we have to do for the book?
For the book, yes.
Okay.
All right. So you guys can put your book off to the side.
So are we just reading it, or are we doing questions as well?
Yes, read, annotate, and do.
Do
Bah.
we do everything starting from page 5?
Page 6 and 7. You should already have 5 done.
Oh, well, I just got here.
Okay. You were assigned 4 and 5 yesterday. So you
Oh.
guys should have 4, 5, 6, and 7 done at this point.
Okay.
All right. So the next thing on the weekly planner is to show you guys how the new Frayer models work. Okay. So in the Thursday activity 3 slide, it says that you guys are going to be using Google Slides to do the Frayer models. I sent with you guys a paper version of the word list, but in case you lost it, I put a link here in the extra resources. Just like last time, I've shared with you my completed version that I present in class. So you can use that as a reference, or sometimes I put links to videos. So you'll be able to watch those again or on your own if you want to. I'm recording this current Google Meet about this, and this will become a link to what I'm explaining to you now in case you forget. You can come back and look at it later, okay? So what we'll need to do is go to the Google Classroom and open the assignment in the Your Work section. I've done one for you. We're going to do one together, and then you guys will work on the other 3, because today's homework assignment is to do Frayer model terms 3, 4, and 5. So if you don't have Google Classroom open in another tab, go ahead and open that up. Go to the 6th period site. I got a bunch of emails yesterday about people having trouble with the Edpuzzle site. This is the YouTube video that was in that assignment. These are the questions that were in that assignment. If you couldn't get the Edpuzzle to work, you can just watch this video on YouTube and then make a copy of this document. It is a view only, so you can't type on it. You'll have to make a copy of it, and you can just share that with me so I can see that you have that done. So scroll down and you'll see the Frayer model assignment. You'll need to click on the green clipboard to open it to see the instructions. So I'll give everybody a minute to get to there. Does anybody not see this?
I don't see it.
Okay. Did you go to Google Classroom?
Uh-uh.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you scroll down to the one called Frayer Models Force and Motion?
You see it now.
Okay. Make sure you click on the green clipboard. All right. So you'll. Huh? We good? Okay. So in the instructions, it says you'll need to make a new slide for each term to fill in the boxes on the Frayer model. Be sure to put the number with the word in the oval in the middle. I've created some for you to get started. Below your instructions, you'll see a copy of My Completed Slides. My Completed Slides has a hockey player on it. That's the one that's totally done, that I'll present in class and talk about in our Google Meet tomorrow. The other thing you'll see connected to the bottom of this is a view-only copy of the word list in case you lose it. It's already here. Your version that you can type on has a roller coaster on it. It should be up here on the right-hand side of your screen. Remember, my screen looks different than yours. It should be in the Your Work section. You'll notice that this does not have a due date because we'll be adding, 3 or 4 words every time, you don't need to keep turning this into me. But please be aware that I'm going to be checking to see that you get this done. On my screen, when I click on student work, I can see all of your slideshows here, even if you haven't turned them in yet. Turning them in just like signals to me that you're done and ready for me to grade it. But since you guys are not going to be turning this in each time we do an assignment, I'll just click on this, open yours, and then I can see if you have done, like he put his name on it already, I can see that. Okay?
Miss Birch.
Yes.
So for the Frayer models, how many vocab words do we have to do?
For today, you're going to do 3, 4, and 5.
Yes.
All right.
So I've done 5 already.
Huh?
I've done 5 vocab words already.
All right. So yeah, this is just like what we did before, but now it's digital. So I gave you some hints here on the second slide about how to make copies of the blank slide that I've made for you guys as a format. If you forgot what goes in each of the boxes, you can look at slide number 3, and I've put instructions there. You will want to leave slide 4 blank. So you can click on it, right click on it, and click duplicate slide, and then add that to your slideshow. Or you can click copy and then scroll down to the bottom, and you can click paste and paste the slide down there. But you're going to want to leave slide number 4 blank to use. I've done motion for you. So motion is the displacement of an object over a period of time. Synonyms that I think of when I hear motion is it's moving or it moved, relocated. I copied and pasted this part. The object changes position, fast or slow, measured as speed, from the one that I show you guys in class. For the picture, is there anyone who doesn't know how to insert a picture into a slideshow? Okay, if you forgot, the instructions are on slide 3. You go insert, image, search the web, and then pick one that's appropriate. So I picked this zebra that looks like it's running, and I can tell that it's running because of how his feet are positioned and the background is blurry. If it was just standing there in the field, that wouldn't be a good picture for motion, right? And then the non-example or opposite would be, not moving, stationary, stays in place.
Can we go ahead and turn it in? Because I did that earlier.
Okay, so you're not going to click turn in. I'm just going to look at them on my student work slide to see that you have it done.
Okay.
So let's do number 2 together.
Don't you have to turn it in so the teacher can see it?
No. So if you guys look at your Google Meet page, I have this tab called Student Work. All of them are here because I made you a copy. So I can see, as you edit them. So Jacob said he did a bunch already. Look at his. So he's right. He's got displacement. He's got a reference point, picture, definition,
So
international system of units, distance. So even though you guys haven't turned this in, I can still see them.
Mrs. Birch, which ones do we do today?
Today you guys are going to do 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
I'd like to do number 2 with you, but people are jumping ahead of me a little bit. So number 2 is the moving of something from its place or position. The synonym of displacement is motion. They mean the same thing. Number 1 and number 2 mean the same thing. Okay? So moving picture or example, if I type in moving, I get like moving boxes. So you got to be careful with your Google search. Make sure that it's a picture that makes sense to you. So Jacob, make sure those pictures that you put in yours, you understand what they're showing you there. So I like this one with the blurry car, because that makes me believe that it's moving, right? It's being displaced. It's going from one place to another. And they're like traveling, right? You're being displaced. When you guys go on vacation, you are displaced. So in a different place, not in the same place. Like the root word of this is place or placement, right? Removed, relocated. Those would all work as synonyms.
So, Miss is everybody is COVID displacing everybody?
Kind of.
Okay.
So this would be for opposites would be in the same place, right? If you're not displaced, you're in the same place. Does that make sense? All right. So you guys are going to, I put the words in the ovals for you for these first few to get you started. You're going to do reference point, international system of units, and distance. So if you forget what to do, remember, go back to your weekly planner and look at today's page. So we did 1, 2, and 3 already. You're going to do page 6 and 7, read, annotate, and do, assess your understanding questions, Frayer model slides for terms 3, 4, and 5. Does that make sense? All right. Does anyone have any questions about what we did today?
I do. So for my red, A, Y, and U, aim for later. So I finished all the typing stuff yesterday. Do I have to hop on the computers meet?
Tomorrow?
Miss Bird, I have to
Today
go.
for
Bye.
Thursday. Computers.
No, I don't do a meet for computers.
Oh.
Okay. Your assignment's on there till Christmas. So you guys just need to go ahead with what's posted there.
And about the red AYU.
Hang on just a second. Go ahead, Jacob.
Can you like pull up the pages 6 and 7 so I can do them on my paper?
You can actually get to that. If you go all the way back to like the beginning of the Google Classroom and find a Savas post. Remember, realize?
Yeah.
And so find one of those, and that will take you to the online textbook. So if you sign in to Realize, you'll be able to see the textbook.
So just go to see the text. So I'm in Savas Realize. I see them. So do I just go to what did you do this past summer or something?
Not that one. You'd want to pick like photosynthesis or something like that. You need to get to this page where you have the 3 circles.
Oh.
And go to My Library. And then you should be able to see, or yours are different than mine. Somewhere on here you guys have, there we go, browse, and then find the soccer player girl. And then you can get to your e-text.
Okay.
Okay. And at least you'll be able to see the pictures on there.
So I'm in Savas, and I press the Take Me There Now button. If it'll load.
Yeah, this website's kind of big, so you'll have to give it a minute.
Yeah, I have a lot of tabs open too that I have to do work on.
Yeah.
Because I'm not completely finished with them yet. I don't need that open. Don't need that open.
All right. Did somebody else have a question?
We'll just ask Mom about it later.
I did.
Okay.
I'll just load into it again.
It's about my grades.
Okay.
Somehow I have an F in computer science. Is it because I didn't get to level 44 yet?
Yes.
I mean, not science, computer science.
Right. So if you remember, that assignment was due, what was it, last Friday now?
I
So
think
let's look
so.
at Thursday computers. Yeah. So your typing club to level 44 was due Friday, November 13th. So I checked your scores that day, and whatever level you were on, it's worth 44 points because it was 44 levels. So wherever you were, that was what I entered into the grade book because I had to have my grades done so you guys could get your midterms. So for those of you that do not have a good grade in computers, I need you to go finish that so I can change your score.
I got there. Miss Birch, I got there.
On the book, Jacob?
Yeah, I got there.
Okay. So once you guys finish level 44, you can, go into this assignment and click, mark as done. So I know to check your grades. But the scores I have in here right now are whatever level you guys were on when I had to turn in my grade book. Okay. I had some folks saying they kept getting stuck on like the crossword or something like that. I went in this morning and changed all of the settings. So if you get stuck on a page and you've, done the lesson, it should let you just go on now. So I don't want you to skip levels. Like I'm looking at your stars to see that you've completed them. So don't skip any levels. But if you get stuck on one of those crossword things, like it won't, like you've got everything in there and it looks like everything is spelled right and it's just not working. Emma, can you stop with your face? Thanks, hon. Like you can click on to the next lesson and go on now. Okay. So hopefully that will solve the problem for the folks who kept getting stuck because things wouldn't work on their computer. Any other questions?
I have a question. So on the typing jungle, I'm having a little bit of trouble.
Okay.
And it says that it's due by December 5th, and I'm at level 23.
December 18th.
Yeah. And I don't know if I was supposed to start it yet.
Yes. So ideally, you guys would have finished the typing club vocabulary thing on November 13th and then moved on to the typing jungle after that. Okay. And when you get to lesson 60, you mark this as done. So I know to check your account and give you an updated score.
Also, on the slides, I already put in one of the definitions and all the other stuff as well. And since it was blank, and I found the same definition on like 2 slides down. Do you want me to just keep it there, or you want me to just delete it all and put it back?
Are you on your own?
Yes.
Yeah, you want to make sure your definitions match the words that are in the oval in the middle.
It is, but it's, I mean, like on the top one, it was completely blank, nothing there. Everything was gone. And the thing was just blank.
So did you just add a slide and it was blank? You didn't copy?
No, I didn't add any slides.
Okay. I would maybe click the undo button and see if you can get it to go back the way it's supposed to be.
Okay, because everything was just completely blank on that one. I thought that we were supposed to write on that one.
Yeah. It should look like the regular Frayer models. Okay. All right. If you are good, you can hop off of here and work. I'll stay here in case you have questions.
Miss Birch.
Yes.
How many points is the typing jungle thing worth?
60.
60.
Yes.
Do we have to be finished with the other the first 44 to do it?
Yes. Do the 44 first. Yes.
I did all the levels yesterday morning.
Okay, good.
So I'm on this Voss Realize, and I just finished the My Planet Diary thing.
Okay.
I'm pressing the down arrow, and it's not pulling up submit.
I don't think you can submit this. You're just looking at it. Did you type on it?
Yes, I typed in "We are revolving around the sun while the moon's revolving around us."
I would like for you to put that in the paper version. So instead of typing it in the digital book,
How do you get there?
well, do you still have a piece of paper that you're working with?
Yes.
Okay. So instead of typing your answer in the lines on the screen, just write it down on the paper, and when you find your textbook, write it in your book.
Okay.
Use the online book as a visual.
Then I'm pretty sure I'm good.
Okay. Anyone else? Bye. Anyone else have a question or need help with something?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Miss Burks, I just thought of something.
Yes.
So for the frame models, we did displacement, right?
Together, yeah.
Yeah. So what was the picture of it? Because I couldn't find it.
Something that's moving.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's easy enough.
Enough, yeah. And we'll go over that tomorrow. So,
Okay.
Miss